The Florida Panthers are getting hot at the right time, especially their goaltender between the pipes. And there are other guys on the bench that normally don't throw the puck into the back of the net that have been doing so, especially last night. I'll go over who those guys are and their impact so far in the series, as well as what has been working and how are the Panthers just been so dominant in these last two games against the Toronto Maple Leafs. What have they been doing? What has Paul Maurice been up to that has these Panthers on such a roll? Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I am your host, Greg Andrews. Hit that subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. Guys, bear with me today. I'm going to try to get through this pretty quick. I just had surgery on my foot on Tuesday, so I'm in a little bit of pain, a lot of swelling, and I'm trying just to push through this one to give you all of these opinions, all these facts, stats, everything, and moving forward into game number 6, a little bit of a look ahead. So let's just jump right into this, guys. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. What a game. Sorry, Toronto Maple Leafs fans. I know you're not going to like seeing this, but the Panthers showed their championship pedigree last night. They showed that championship will to win no matter what. And man, did they run away with it last night. I didn't see that one happening, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, but it just didn't look like the same Toronto Maple Leafs team that we saw in the first two games. But there's a reason behind it, and we'll get into that in just a second. So let's just jump into this, guys. Here come the stat lines. All right, 6-1. 3-2 lead. We just stole home ice advantage. Amerant Bank Arena tomorrow night, guys, to possibly close out the series, and hopefully they do. But the biggest thing I want you guys to really look at here, I want you to look at the very bottom of this on the right-hand side. You see that says giveaways, 21 for Toronto Maple Leafs. That's one of the reasons why we ended up getting 6 goals in this game. 21 giveaways. That's very, very unlike this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Now, the Panthers were forward-checking, they were hitting, they were playing phenomenal defense, and I think that has a lot to do with it, even though the numbers here show it being a lot closer for the hits. The shots were even, but look at the face-off percentage, guys. The face-off percentage, 52.5% for Florida. Usually it's so lopsided in the favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I couldn't believe this when I saw it. And that's one of the reasons why I think this Panthers team took such a big lead in that second period and just pulled away, because they were great in the face-off circle. And Toronto did not have an answer for anything that Florida was throwing at them. Offensively, defensively, Florida just had their number and just didn't look like Toronto showed up. Florida came in and we're like, you know what? We're going to steal this one from you. We want it. We're going to take it. And they did. And Bob looked incredible, made some absolutely amazing saves, especially one that hit the back, hit the boards behind the net, ricocheted back. It was going right to a Toronto player. And then Bob turned it aside with that left pad at the last second, just got back into a position to knock that one aside. I mean, he's been playing great. He's been playing great. I'll get into the numbers in just a second for Bob, but the thing I want you guys to look at here as well is the power play has been working for us, and so has the penalty kill. Our special teams has been better than Toronto's. Our penalty kill has been one of the best this postseason, and that has been one of the eye-popping stats. And again, look at this too. The block shots, 24 for Toronto, only 9 for Florida. But we didn't really need to block a lot of shots because they weren't taking a lot. Toronto wasn't. Our defense was nothing short of probably the defense of the playoffs right now. They are looking so phenomenal in terms of being able to stop a team and just disrupt their offensive that offensive movement that they're doing inside of that offensive third. They're just not able to move the puck the same way. They're getting in the lanes. You know, they're scrapping against the wall, making sure that they can take that puck away and just go in the opposite direction. Try to keep that puck away from Bob, and they've been doing a great job of it. Great job. So here are the numbers for the Panthers team. They have not a single player that is in a minus in that plus-minus column. That's what I love to see. There's some zeros, yes, okay, but not a single negative number. It was such a great game. That chemistry is showing. Like I said, that championship pedigree is on full display right now, and Toronto does not have an answer for it. And I hate to say it for you Leafs fans. You know, you guys are like, oh, here we go again. And it might be just that, because they just didn't show up last night. That was not the same Leafs team that I saw in the first two games. It's just game three, that Marchand winner just seemed to take the wind out of the sails for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm not saying they're giving up because there's still two games left in this series, but that doesn't look good for you guys. That effort last night doesn't look good. I mean, Matthews has been completely shut out. Nylander, it looks like the Panthers have found an answer for him. The Panthers team just looks like they have figured out how to play the Toronto Maple Leafs now. It took two games and they've had to learn, and I'll get into a couple of quotes in a second. They learned from their mistakes, and Coach Paul Maurice has made specific adjustments. I talked about the line adjustments, subbing in some players, as well as the matchups. His lines against the Toronto lines, he's not just going 1-on-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. He's mixing them up because he knows he has certain lines that match up better speed-wise, endurance-wise. I mean, Forsling's been able to catch Nylander and deal with that speed. So have some of the other guys, Marchand, Lundell, Lustranen. Those guys have been doing a great job. I mean, the team has just found all of the answers to this Toronto Maple Leafs team. And Paul Maurice, his coaching genius, is a giant part of why this team has been successful in these last really two games. And yes, we'll count game number 3 as well, because that turned this whole series around, if you want to ask me. And you could see it in Brad Marchand's face last night when he left the ice at the end of that game because he was booted out for the penalty for going and choking Nylander. You could see he was smiling because he knows exactly what he's doing. And I hate to say it, it looks like he's coming again for you guys. And he's loving every minute of it. But yeah, these numbers are incredible. That Marchand, Lustranen, Lundell line, each person on that line had an assist. And they're just, this team's just looking like they want to make that run for back-to-back Stanley Cup championships right now. It's starting to look that way. So I hate to say it, Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and the rest of the NHL, this team's looking incredibly dangerous, if not the most dangerous team in the league right now. They look dangerous. You could say Dallas too, with Rantanen, but I still think it's Panthers. They're deep. They're deep on every line, on their the forwards and centermen, as well as their defense. They are deep, guys. They are deep, and they are scary. Scary good. These are the different numbers. Game score composition. Who's been doing good things, who hasn't been doing great things. For the most part, it's been Gustav Forsling, Aaron Ekblad, pretty much taking the reins for a lot of this. Team offense and team defense, and they've made a lot of individual efforts. I mean, Gustav Forsling's been nothing short of spectacular. Same thing with Ekblad. And they're only getting better. They're clicking, they're gelling. Again, the chemistry is working for all of these guys. I love it. I love the fact that Bovequist is in there on that first line with Evan Rodriguez out. He stepped up and had a goal. And we were talking about Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky, in these last two games, he stopped 54 of 55. One goal against, and he was expected to have 6.66 goals against. Stopped 15 of 16 high danger shots, 41 of 42 shots on 5-on-5. Spectacular numbers. And they're happening at the right time. He's getting hot at the right time. Scary good, Bob. He's back. I hate to say, guys, everybody has had belief in Wall. Well, I think that belief has now shifted. And stop talking about the injuries and stuff. The series is physical. It's getting more physical every single game. There have been cheap shots by both teams. It's an even keel, even trade thing here. This is playoff hockey, guys. There's never an intent for these guys to try to hurt someone out and take an unfair competitive advantage. Those lines you're making up yourselves. Don't think like that, please. This is the game of hockey. Injuries happen all the time. If things looked like they were intended to hurt someone, to be out of a game, to get a competitive advantage, the NHL would discipline that player, and they haven't done so. This is the game of hockey. It is fast. It is physical. Understand that. If you've played the game, you guys know it happens so fast. Yes, you want to be physical. Things happen, okay? Let's not get too out there and be like, oh, the Panthers are cheating. No, they're not. They're not playing dirty. They're just playing their physical style of hockey. That's what they do. That's what they do. The Maple Leafs have gotten physical too, okay? Let's not say they haven't had any big hits on the Panthers. Of course they had. They had some dirty ones too. It goes both ways, guys. It's a two-way street, and let's leave it at that. Let's be respectful here and just call it as it is, a great physical playoff series. Unfortunately, it's not going in your favor for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, guys. But it's been entertaining. It's been physical. It's been great. And this is the kind of hockey you do want to see. These teams going at each other, getting physical, getting in each other's faces. They don't like each other. And it's only going to get more like that. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Again, I think the Panthers are gelling. Everything is clicking for them. I think they do close out the series tomorrow night and have a strong showing back at home to close out the series. It's going to be nerve-wracking, though, because the fourth one is always the hardest. That last one is always the hardest, and it showed last year in our 7-game series to win the Cup, guys. So, on to what people are saying. So, Nico Mikkola on Bobrovsky. He's unbelievable. He gives the 5 guys confidence on the ice. If we're going to make a mistake, he's the guy who's going to back us up, and man, has he ever in these last 5 games. He's been spectacular. Mikkola on the win. We wanted to win this one and steal it. We got it. It's just one win. The next one is the hardest, like I just said. Of course it is. Mikkola, yes, it's going to be the hardest one. Hopefully it will be more like last night, where you guys run away with it. Everything just clicks during this game. The passing looks amazing. It looks like we're just putting it in the right corners. The puck is bouncing in our favor. Let's just make sure we close out this series, guys. But yes, focus on one at a time. The past is the past. Last 2 games have been great. Let's keep going. And Aleksander Barkov and learning from the losses. Learn from every game. Obviously, winning is great, but when you lose, you learn the most. We learned a lot those first 2 games, and we fixed some things, but every game is tougher and tougher indeed. And yes, they have learned from their mistakes in those first 2 games. Clearly, they have. The last 2 games, they have been nothing short of almost perfect in those games. A shutout in game number 4 for Bobrovsky. A near shutout in game number 5 with a late goal that, I think the Panthers should have done a little bit better with their defense, but what are you going to do? Panthers came away with a 6-1 victory. We'll take that any day of the week to go up 3-2 and steal home ice advantage. We will take that any day of the week. And here's Paul Maurice on the current 4th line. And I love this quote by him because he was the guy who was like, you know what, Sam Miskevich is going to get out of there. You know, he really threw a kind of a little bit of a corkscrew into this and bringing in Greer, Noshik, and Gadjevich, and it has paid off. We either played teams who were fighting for their lives, teams who were completely out of it, or a few teams who had already made it, talking about the end of the season, those last few weeks, and the teams that they played. All those teams were in those different kinds of positions. Those guys, talking about the 4th line, played the exact same way all 3 situations. They didn't take a game lightly. They didn't even have risk in their game where they could cost us a game against one of those teams fighting for their lives. They were really, really consistent, and indeed, they were. They were great. And they've still been great. So one of the things I want to talk about really fast before we go, the Panthers have 17 guys who have scored a goal in the playoffs so far. No other team is close. And I think it's 9 guys now who have 8 points or more in the playoffs. No other team is close. The team is playing, well, as a team. This is the biggest time when hockey, you need to not have 1 or 2 stars that are coming out and taking the reins. Your whole team has to come together if you want to win a championship. You need to do that in hockey. There's not enough time for you to be on the ice for 20 minutes every single period and play an hour's worth of hockey on the ice and take the reins. It's impossible. Physically, it's too taxing. For this team, they're playing as a team, and you're starting to see it now. They're selfless. They're passing the puck to whoever's open and can stick it to the back of the net because that's what championship teams do, guys. And they are going to keep rolling. I think this Panthers team is going to close out tomorrow night. That home crowd's going to be rocking. I cannot wait, but do not expect Toronto to just roll over and be done with the series. They are going to come out lightning quick, throwing all punches, and try to get underneath the skin of the Panthers and steal this one back and take it back up to Toronto. So they need to be careful. They can't do what they did last year and try to make it play on every single pass. They need to be cerebral. They need to be smart. They need to listen to their coach, and they need to do exactly what they've done the last 2 games. Be smart with your passing. Be smart on defense. Make sure you're not giving the puck away in the neutral zone, especially near your own blue line. And just be smart. And throw the puck at the net. And don't make stupid penalties. They've been a lot better at that. But yeah, this team is on fire. Bob is playing great hockey. And I can't believe all the guys who usually don't step up have been stepping up. Like Kulikov, massive slap shot that was about 95 miles an hour, I think, found the back of the net. I know it got deflected by a Maple Leaf stick, but 95 miles an hour. My goodness. My goodness. Bovequist. Another guy who threw one in the back of the net there. So there are guys scoring that usually don't, and it's great to see. Everyone on this team is contributing. Like I said, team mentality, team mentality. Well, guys, I'm going to go rest. I'm going to go ice this foot and relax and take some painkillers right now. It's going to be a heck of a game tomorrow, guys. Be ready. Go Panthers. I'll talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow, unless I'm going to be resting. Again, keep your eyes out for the next day or two. I will have another video out. But hey, let's get ready. Let's close out the series, Panthers. Wear your red tomorrow night and get loud, Cats fans. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Let's go, Cats.